Hi guys, Michele, it's MicheleMarieDalene. That was the Valkyries by Wagner, and I just wanted to put something a little different on because I figured, well, with Hurricane Irma in the area and turning Florida into a very finely washed and waxed floor, I figured it would be appropriate to have some music that indicates something with power and strength instead of some just little wimpy storm that certainly is not Irma at all. In fact, Irma is becoming a major, as a local forecaster would call it here, a gullywomper. This thing is a beast. Really quite a strong beast of a storm, and it's done a number on a lot of people in the last few days in the Caribbean, Bermuda, and a lot of other strange little Caribbean countries I've never heard of. But yes, she has done a lot of damage to people's lives everywhere. And for those of you who did not know, Irma has a face. Yes, the storm Irma has a face. I'm not kidding you. She actually, NASA satellite picked up a face of Irma, which looks just like a woman's face, more like a very angry woman's face in her eye. And she's just this immensely powerful beast that is coming in and is going to do what she's going to do to clean the world around her. And just like the man says in Kevin Boy, my pipes are clean. Your pipes are clean. Your pipes ain't even existing anymore. It's very true. Very serious storm. Very big storm. And so let's get back to my video preview so I can see how we're coming in here. Frame rates is good today. Excellent. Frontiers decide not to crap out on me, which is always a plus. So, yes, we are taking questions today, and you are more than cordially invited to share this link with your friends and family. And if, of course, for those of you in Florida area, if you would love to come on and tell us your story in chat, I would love to have your input. The system is also going, of course, is going to come into Atlanta as well, into Georgia. And tropical storm warning has been issued for Atlanta. First time ever. Because the winds and the rain and stuff is still so strong that they are going to be, she's going northward now. She's going past the Keys. She can't, did I fall on the Keys? And so let's see if I can pull up some quick notifications here about it. Okay, this is something else. I want to focus on the weather right now. The Hurricane Irma weakens to Category 2 storm. That was as of 56 minutes ago from RT News. Tornado wind warnings issued for Florida's Brevard County, home of Cape Canaveral. That was 1 hour ago. And I have Hurricane Irma makes landfall in Marco Island in Florida as a Category 3. So it did come into Marco Island where it made landfall as a Category 3 storm. I've been keeping an eye on the system. I've been watching it all night long. I mentioned the face of Irma. I wanted to see if I can show you a picture of it. The problem is this software, unlike Minicam, which I can't get for this version of iOS because they don't release that version anymore. I'll just have to put my phone to the camera and see if you can see it. So let's see if you can see that picture. Let me see if I can blow it up anyway. Irma has a face. And she's really PO'd. Yeah, that's Irma right there. It looks like the snow queen from the animated one from Wizard. Because kind of joke around a little bit, but seriously, this system is big. Now, what about Jose and Katya? Look how Katya and Jose are not being really talked much about, so I can't tell you how those two guys are going because no one's really discussing it at this point. Let's see. I got there's my announcements for my live stream. Yeah. Okay. Dory's downstairs hanging with her friends, and I thought she was going to come on camera today, but I guess she's not. Rusty's son has gone home. He's gone back to Torrington, so Rusty is very happy he can go in and out of the house as he pleases, and he doesn't have to worry about getting assaulted by his kid. I don't particularly blame Rusty. It really kind of sucks to think. UK population growing by 10,000 every week. Whoa. Why is that? Scientists depression is a physical illness. Treat with anti-inflammatory drugs. No, that's interesting. Tony Blair Brexit unnecessary to curb EU immigration. Pay for play 7% of Rahm Emanuel's donors receive lucrative contracts. This is from Infowars.com. This is like the phone app version. I tend to do a lot of phone app stuff. By the way, speaking of weather, let's get back to the weather for our area because, well, we don't have any hurricanes coming towards Winston at this point, or snowstorms, or nor'easters, or whatever. We can certainly tell you the temperature right now. It is 19 degrees Celsius outside. The low today will be 9 degrees Celsius. Monday will be sunny, a high of 24, a low of 12. Tuesday will be a high of 26, a low of 13. Wednesday will be a high of 26 and a low of 16. Thursday will be on all three. And Tuesday and Thursday shows mostly cloudy. Thursday shows thunderstorms, a high of 26 and a low of 16. Not really that great of a deal, but that's life, right? Can't help that. It just is the nature of the weather and the universe around us. So, of course, I'm still listening to your chat comments. In fact, I should put a little message on the bottom of the screen, so because you guys may be getting kind of confused about when we are taking chats and when we are not. During these live streams, we take chats on Saturdays or Sundays at 6 p.m. and it is now. So let me just go ahead and send a message out. Time to chat. Okay. Post comments here and I will read. Read. And I will read question and give answer vocally. Okay, so I want people to know that they can leave chats, so this is the time to do it. How's my foot doing? Well, my foot still swells up now and then. It's not as bad. It gets a little itchy now and then, so I rub my foot to help alleviate the itching. I still keep it elevated, still taking the antibiotics for the foot to help it to continue to heal. And it feels like it's doing okay. It's doing pretty good overall. I saw a comment on was posted to me a link about how George W. Bush and Bill Clinton were kind of razzing Donald Trump. This is from John, what was the name of the show? John Smith or something. And I never saw Donald Trump, never guy was on the show, and I felt that's kind of unfair. Hurricane invades Naples area with storm surge after second Florida landfall. Okay, officers killed by Irma. Corrections officer deputy dead after head-on crash. Stranded at sea. Cops save couple trying to brave out Irma on a boat. That would be the most frightening place to be, is on a boat, because you would be like tossed around. Unless you really experience seaman, you're not gonna go out there and do that. That's just suicidal, and that's just not worth it to do that. To be on a boat. Let's see. Heavy rain floods lash Italy, at least 5 dead. J.J. Watt gets a hero's welcome at Houston Texans season opener. Representative Jim Jordan defends Trump budget deal with Schumer. Pelosi blames GOP leaders. Progressive frustration with Feinstein sparked talk of 2018 Senate challenge report. Pope gets a black eye upon arrival in Cartagena. Congress struggles to explain to voters combo votes to spend billions more and raise debt ceiling. Okay, let's talk about this billions more thing. We got a couple reasons why they would need to raise a couple billion more dollars. Hurricane Harvey has already done a tremendous amount of damage to Florida or Texas and parts of Louisiana, and now we have Irma, and she's doing even more damage to Florida. Money for to help the cities, towns, and of course the states that are being impacted by the storm is going to have to come from somewhere. At the same time, even if this had not happened, the government needs to have a debt ceiling increase because we are just about running out of our spending limit. That is mentioned in the Constitution in the first article that the Congress has the control of the federal government's purse strings, and it has that is what the Constitution of the United States says. So Congress is probably vindicated by saying, gee, we can go ahead and raise money and stuff like that, and of course levy taxes, and they do have that right. But people are thinking is just because of Irma and all the stuff that's going on right now is that Congress doesn't care. Congress cares a lot about you. That is, as long as you got something to contribute towards Congress, they're going to want to help you, but otherwise, no. That's the nature of big government, honestly. I'm sorry to say that. I wish I could say it wasn't true. Let's see. Like I said, today we are taking questions. This is Sunday. It is 6:14 at the time I'm taping this and are doing this live. And you know, I know sometimes my show starts out kind of slow and stuff, but you guys can start coming in. Share this channel with your friends and family. We cover a lot of different things. Some things are exciting, some things are not so much. But the most important thing is that we want you to know is that we love having you here. And you are just a major part of my channel's success or failure. Is if the people don't feel like they can interact with me and me at all, they will basically feel like they have to go elsewhere. Right. Okay, I got a question. All right. Since Irma has a face, as NASA's own satellite points out, how, and so did Hurricane Matthew, apparently going to a meteorologist in that story there. How does that make you feel? When some of the pictures of the infrared of the face makes it look, she looks like a sea hack. Seriously. I always consider it a she because they go with a female star name, and maybe in a way maybe she is a female. Maybe she is. Maybe like a lot of us, sometimes she feels like she got scorned. I don't know what the real story is. If Irma really has a face or sex or even intelligence. We always seem to act like these things are big dumb brutes, but I think that there's a little bit of very minimal intelligence, at least self-preservation is in the storm system. So every time the winds pick up and stuff like that, the system is looking for energy sources to feed from. So the system is living off the energy of warm waters. Even though it is potentially being moved around by the cold, warm, the highs and stuff like that, and the higher pressure than the storm, relatively speaking, the system is still going to sense if there's energy to be achieved from the water below it. It's going to take that energy and it's going to build up the strength. As far as some people have mentioned about Hurricane Irma's water siphon function, well, first of all, when you've got such a negative pressure, it doesn't take much to figure out what's going to happen. It's just like in a water spout, which is a tornado over water. It just sucks water up because of the negative of such low pressure, and that feeds into the storm and makes it bigger. And then of course the winds spread the water out. There's heavy rains. So yeah, you got this big system coming in, big power and things like that. Oh, by the way, I want to talk to you guys about something related to weather. If you look at the 2017 playlist on my channel, you will notice that I've added some videos to that playlist that are not my videos, but rather are videos that I felt are pertinent to my work, because I will do my best to expand my playlist to cover just me and besides me and Lummy. That's cool. Let's go. Right? So if you go to the 2017 playlist on my channel, which is the current one, you will see that I've added some timely matter news regarding such things as what's been going on with the hurricane. So let's take a quick look at the playlist, just so you can see the kind of videos I've added to it. So where's my playlists? Right here, 2017. Okay, so got the wrong one. I got the wrong one. Yeah, you grabbed the one from 2014 or 11. Oh, okay, that's. I'm gonna wait for the stupid thing to load up the right one. Of course, as you rightfully can guess, Loom, a good portion of our audience may have been in Florida, and a lot of them may have found themselves totally incapable of watching the video. Right? So, what do you do in that case? What do you do in that case? Just hope that they can catch the reruns when they're on again. So let's go to the 2017 playlist. 2013, 2016, 2017. Here we go. The first video is obviously... Whoa, wait, I don't want to play that one right now. There's nothing more that can kill my home internet connection that makes this possible to get these streams out. Is when I start playing tons of videos. Mini Ice Age is 2017 playlist. 2013, 2016, 2000. Okay, that's me. Okay, so now we have Mini Ice Age coming. Global unrest, famine, mass migrations, increased volcanic flooding. This is actually from Oppenheimer Range Project. Then there's the Mini Ice Age 2024 maths. It's not good news, but talking about the Milikonovich cycles by Arduino Tronic. And then, of course, we've got another one here. The effects of complete grid down event. The 1859 Carrington event, the biggest solar storm in history. And those are the most current ones. There's a few others, I'm sure, further down. Here we go. Houston mayor negligent for telling citizens to shelter in place. By the way, there's a few people who are doing that right now in Irma. They are sheltering in place. Maybe not so much because they want to, but because of reasons that they couldn't get out. They have to. I feel really, really, really bad for you. I really do. I really hope that you're safe and your family is safe, because this thing, when it finally touched into the Keys, was a Category 3. Now it's going towards Tampa, and for the first time ever, Atlanta, Georgia is under a tropical storm warning. So it is a doozy of a system, and it's going to affect a lot of people, and a lot of lives, and a lot of money. We talk so much about the money, you sometimes wonder if maybe people are worried more about the purse strings than the fact that the human beings are going to be caught in the system and that they are going to potentially be getting hurt. It is a really serious event, and it is causing a lot of fear. And a lot of people, of course, are rightfully... A lot of lives and a lot of money. We talk so much about the money, you sometimes wonder if maybe... Plays good. Plays good. It's kind of sad that no one's watching right now. Yeah. Well, we'll come back to watch, I'm sure. If we don't get any questions, though, we're not going to sit here and just twiddle our thumbs all day. That sucks. Yeah, nobody wants that. I don't either. I'm so well to just try to figure this out. Okay, let me talk about your something you mentioned about people often ask you questions about how did you think Sherry Heaton was when she was here last time? I think sometimes she still thinks it's kind of a humorous joke to tease me and you a bit. But you kind of, and I kind of knew that was going to happen. So I was like, oh, well, that's Sherry for you. But, you know, people did like Sherry on camera because you kind of lightened up a very somber message about the solar flare. And that was, I guess, in a way, that was kind of fun because it made it a little bit less painful. Yeah, the solar flares certainly could have been a lot worse than they were. They didn't come out too bad. We were very fortunate there because the system that the solar flares were affecting was the African continent, which I guess was where the flare landed at the time, where the most strongest radio blackouts were. And there was some power line damage, but it didn't really affect Connecticut. We did see there was some northern lights reported all the way down to Kentucky. I actually didn't go out and look at the sky myself. I was kind of, looks like now, almost still kind of hurting a little bit physically with my foot, and I just didn't want to go out there because I was already physically worn out because I was watching the storm, the solar storm coming in, the energized particles coming in through the maps and the news articles and stuff like that. By the time I got done reading it, my eyes were killing me, and I just wanted to get some downtime. And besides that, we already had shut all the computers off and unplugged everything from the mains. And that meant that we didn't really have anything to seriously cover. Like today. Well, I mean, today we were supposed to be covering a lot of things. We are covering those things. And so I would say today's conversation is kind of one-sided at this point, but you know, I want to say to all the audiences that no matter where you are, I want you to be safe, and that, you know, I'll be there rooting for you. I may be the North American snow queen, but it doesn't mean I'm a monster at all. I don't wish ill harm on people. There is times, of course, where we do need snow, and that's never going to change. But it still is a really been a wonderful experience to be part of, you know, your life, and that's why I'm really grateful for your, you know, you welcoming me into your homes, you know, through your phones, your computers or tablets or whatever. Is that it's a real honor to be there to share my stories with you and to help to, you know, bring some, you know, happiness into your hearts. A lot of people are isolated, and during Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey, and yeah, you can bet Hurricane Jose as well, that people are very, very much feeling isolated because of that reason. And it's, you know, it's sometimes it's hard when you have all this internet stuff. You think that the world is going to get so much easier just because of I don't know. You know, like I said, there's also a very old famous cliche that says, "You don't know what I'm feeling." Well, excuse me, but actually, probably we do. After all, we probably had our own down times and our own bad days, and we certainly, you know, I certainly have days when I basically want to slam the door and say, I don't want to be bothered. And that's very true. I mean, there are days I just don't want to be bothered by anybody. There's just days I just want to basically just, I don't even want to look at my phone. I just want to just basically pull up the covers over my head and sleep until my body feels it is physically recuperated enough to get things done. And that's fine. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. That's just is the way it is. It's as, you know, and you think it's easy to do a video every day, and sometimes you go out there and you sit in front of the camera and you ask yourself, what am I supposed to stop at today? Some days I don't really have much to talk about, and I get really, really stressed out, because it doesn't mean that I don't love, you know, talking to you guys, because I do. But I understand there are days when my audience is saying, I just don't want to talk. Yeah, absolutely. It's the same here. You know, I'm not immune to that feeling of disgust or annoyance or anything like that. I'm just the same as you there. I'm a human being. I got red blood through my veins. Sure, I'm a weather sorceress, but that doesn't make me give me any special happiness power. I can still be just as miserable as everybody else can be. I do get physically hurt, and I don't always do well. And, you know, I'm 49 years old. In February, I'm going to be the big 50, and some of you guys may not believe that, but it's true. And I got to take care of all the responsibilities that every adult does. You know, I got to go out there and pay the bills and stuff like that. In fact, one of the things I wanted to talk about, that one of my videos they put in 2017 playlist mentions is we're considering relocating. That was originally from 2013. So, you know what? That's still a possibility. Nothing's off the table here, because I need to go where I can find a job I can do. Social Security is terrible. It's it doesn't pay that much money. In fact, Social Security barely pays minimum wage equivalent. So even if you work, if you work in Connecticut for $10 an hour, you can calculate it. Let's do the maths, shall we? Okay. Now, the average Social Security, we're going to go by the week or by the month, okay? Because everybody gets paid by the month. So, if I say I got, say, 760, let's make the math easy, per month. Then I say you divide it by 4.3 weeks, okay? That's $176.74. Okay, now, what is the average part-time wage? Let's just say divide that by 20 hours a week, okay? That's $8.83. That's a 20-hour-a-week job at $8.34. Remember, you're gonna round that up, okay? It's not gonna be rounding down. So now, it doesn't take too long to figure out what 760 is times 12 for a year. Shall we figure that out? It's only $9,120 a year. You seriously expect a single individual to live on $9,120 a year? It's never going to happen. Okay? Of course, I'm lucky. I put word credit into my Social Security disability, and because I had jobs in the past, and that makes a little more. So I make $1,236 a month. Okay, now if I calculate divided by the same guidelines, 4.3 weeks, that means each week I'm making $287.44. Divide that by, which appears to me about 40-hour week. That's gross wages of $7.19. Rounded off. It's actually, there's math extra there. Rounded off. Okay? See, you figure on that number. I'm only doing twice as good as somebody who is getting the normal for SSI and SSD. That's not really at all acceptable because, people have to pay for rent. People have to pay for groceries. In fact, one realtor said rent should be no more than 1 week's wages. Well, you try to find an apartment for $287 a month. You're not. Okay? My rent here is $800. $700 was just me. $800 because there's Dory's involved. You can't do it. There's no apartment in Connecticut for $287 a month. Okay? And maybe if you could get what about one for $600? Guess what? Connecticut, no. And even that's just the apartment. That's just the 4 walls, the ceiling, and the floor. That doesn't include the electric. That doesn't include the gas. That doesn't include the water. That doesn't include the sewer in many areas. So you're going to be stuck having to pay all those additional add-ons on top of that. So that's not a very livable wage at all. So you need a roommate, and then you get a roommate, and then of course there are complications with the roommates in general. Sometimes the roommates, you get along great, you guys have good times, and everybody's happy, but more often than not, there's stress involved. The roommate wants one thing done their way, you want one thing's done the other way, and nobody's happy. It's just the sad reality of what happens with the job market and the world around you. So I told Dory, I said, we got to go where the jobs are. And she says, but I want to stay in Connecticut. I said, well, great. If you want to stay in Connecticut, you're going to have to work with me, and we're going to have to find a place that's better. Working wages. Our governors in the state of Connecticut, Daniel P. Malloy, has become a fiasco. He's not doing the right thing. He's fighting the state legislature, trying to get a budget together. Just the same kind of situation that Donald Trump is running into. In fact, a lot of the Republicans are, in the state of Connecticut are trying to get the governor to negotiate with them because they're tired of what the Democrats are constantly pushing. Conversely, the same thing is happening on the federal level, whereas Donald Trump says, no, I'm going to work with the Democrats because right now my own party is stonewalling me over and over again. And it's not doing... is inconsistent. They say they want this, they want that, but then when it comes time to put the money where their mouth is, guess what? They're not doing it, and we are going to have to get a budget passed before the end of September, or the government is going to shut down, and possibly will definitely default. So not at all positive. And then, of course, what happens to all the people with Social Security disability? I mentioned that a lot. But here's the deal. The Social Security disability program is not Social Security, okay? It's a program that's administered by Social Security, but it is not Social Security. It's a completely separate set of funding. And the problem is that no one's really put much more money into the cookie jar. So what's happening is that the Social Security disability program is running out of funds. And they say by 2020 or even 2025, the system will be flat broke, which means that those people on entitlements are going to have no choice but to go back to work. They're going to have to find a way to go to work anyway. Remember, Donald Trump wants to see America go to work, but Donald Trump also is aware that some people are going to need training to go to that job. They're going to have to go to school. They're going to have to get apprenticeships. They're going to have to show internships. They're going to have to put their noses to the grindstone. Even the most disabled-bodied people I know of can do something. The problem is the employers have got to be willing to give these guys a fighting chance. If they're not willing to do that, if they're not willing to tell you guys, hey, look, here's the deal. You guys are good. You guys are smart. You guys are intelligent. You guys are all this good stuff. Let's put you to work. Great. I'd love to see that. But the sad truth is, as long as Congress is sitting there and acting, it was just as bad when it was the Democrats. The Democrats and the Democratic presidents, it was do nothing. Okay, Congress hasn't done nothing. Even when it was a Republican Congress and the Democratic presidents, they didn't get much done. It's just a waste of time with filibusters and grandstanding and all this. It's just terrible, and then it's hurting the American people. American people, of course, we are going to basically tell those people straight out in the 2018 elections, here's your pink slip, bud. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. But then who are we going to put in your place? If we find somebody else that we feel can do the job better than the incumbents, that'd be great. But what if the person we find to replace the incumbents is no better than the ones that are in there? Same problem, new faces. Yeah, so it's kind of a shame that today's channel really doesn't have a lot of confidence. But then again, I think with all the hurricane discussion and all the people watching Irma, and so many have families and friends in Irma's areas, including me, that we're going to just have to just accept that this broadcast today was just a pretty small broadcast. But it's, I guess that's okay. I mean, I want to go back to the news myself, but now, let me just say this, guys. Pray for your friends and your family. Pray for me. Pray for Lumi. Pray for the cats. Pray for everybody. Things are really getting kind of screwy out there in the weather, and then also in the sun and the social environments as well. Nobody knows what's going on. When you do watch this video, and you finally do have a chance to sit down and take a deep breath from the news, yeah, do come back, leave comments, and we'll try to answer those comments as soon as we can. And I thank you very much for watching this, even though it was kind of short. That happens. it's the nature of the environment that we're in right now with all this news flooding in, and it's just too much to cover. So, all right, guys. So for now, we're gonna wrap it up. It is 6:40 p.m. and I thank you for taking the time to at least read and watch the video after the thought, and I hope that you have a nice day. You want to say something before I go? Yeah. Just click on the blue square that says subscribe NASQ, and don't forget to click on the bell like Michele says. And, because we always love to have more people. We're up to 188 of you guys. We can keep a steady 190 soon. That'd be great. That would be great. And don't forget to share these channels and these videos with your friends and family. We will do our best to try to find more exciting stuff in a couple days. It's up to you to help, because I can't do everything by myself. Because my leg still hurts a little, and I'm not really able to get around as well as I'd like. So, just pray for me to the Lord your God, okay? Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, everybody.